Back with you, San Diego sports leader. It is the Mighty 1090. Darren Smith up until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Let's say hello to Winston Shepard, senior forward. Get a pulse of what the Aztecs are feeling here this afternoon. We all know they were disappointed yesterday. We spent the first half of the show talking about it. Winston, Darren Smith, good to talk to you. Thank you very much for the time.
Man, appreciate you guys having me on.
Winston, when did it occur to you yesterday? I know that you are starting to turn your attention now to tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, but if you don't mind, when did you realize San Diego State didn't make the field of 68?
Man, well, there was a lot of speculation leading up to it, and, there was a fake bracket leaked or a leaked bracket that some people said was, man, that's the field. And, it ended up being head on 100%. That was the field. So, disappointed, for probably about the first hour or 2 hours, man. And then I just started looking at the opportunity, man. I'm a big believer in God and God's plan. And I know that nothing will happen but what is supposed to happen. So this is what was supposed to happen. And I'm going to tell you, I'm really excited. And I can't wait to get out there, man.
Could you explain that? Because there seems to be varying opinions about the NIT. And I had long said before, and I thought you guys would go to the NCAA tournament, but I had long said the NIT is whatever it is that you want to make out of it. And if people want to,
listen,
if you want to treat it like a bad consolation prize and a waste of time, then that's what it is.
Out the first game.
Exactly.
And,
so how do you get prepared for that?
I mean, listen, man, this team has a lot of great players. I think some people that the fans and other opposing teams take for granted. I mean, this team has players that are going to be playing basketball for a long time. So just in that sense itself, people will be able to get to put an eye on these guys again and see us all together a few more times, man. Because like I said, obviously going to the NIT wasn't our goal, but being a great team and a special team is our goal, and we have a chance to still be able to do and achieve that. So from that standpoint, man, we're excited. We got a lot more basketball to play, and we're looking forward to it.
What did Steve Fisher say to the team?
Just this is whatever we want to make it is what it'll be. We referenced the team. I won't say the team's name. I don't want to disrespect anybody, but we referenced the team from last season that was put in this similar position. They just knew or thought they had done enough to get into the tournament. They didn't get into the tournament, and they kind of just went out there and sleepwalked, and it'll be 40 minutes and the season is over. And I think it looks a lot worse when you don't make the NCAA tournament, you get in the NIT, and you lose in the first game because you didn't really want to be there. That's almost embarrassing. So I guarantee we won't go out like that. I'm not saying we will win or lose, but we will go out there and give 100% of our effort and preparation and love and respect to the game.
I will say the name of that team. It was Colorado State. Also of interest this year, LSU announced that they would not be participating at all in the postseason, whether that was the NIT or whether that was whatever postseason tournament, CBI, what have you. Winston, I just wonder if that ever popped up in the room, if you guys ever, even for a second, considered not playing postseason basketball.
Well, I mean, my answer to that question would be, who wants to go out losing their last game in the fashion that we lost? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. That was a great game we played versus Fresno State. There was a lot of greatness on display in that game from both teams, both coaches. The atmosphere was unbelievable, but we lost the game. So, as far as I was concerned, I didn't want to go out my last game of my college career losing to Fresno State in the Mountain West Championship, and then that just be it. I don't think that was ever an option.
Winston Shepard joining us on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Winston, what are you expecting tomorrow night at Viejas Arena?
Man, I'm expecting for, our team to go out there and just be uber excited, man. We have a better chance of winning the NIT than we have of winning the NCAA. And I think that will create some excitement and some buzz just for our team alone. I can't control the fans. I can't control who will be there, who won't be there. And me personally, I'm not even worried about it. I would hope, that we would be able to get 12,414 in there rooting us on and cheering us on. And, but if not, I think it won't have any bearing on the excitement and the way we will come out ready to play.
Winston, you are a senior leader on this team. Your coach has said that. You have identified yourself as such. People are listening to you right now, and they're wondering, is this a message? Is it tough for you to try to convince your teammates to be as positive and open-minded about this opportunity as you are making it sound like you are?
Then my answer to that question is, how much do you love basketball? I mean, there's a million other things that we could be doing, going to school. The season could be over and we could just be going to class. We could be, done with practice. We could not be watching film anymore. This is what we all say we love to do and want to do for a long time. I mean, I want to do this for a long time. I want to get paid to do this, and I want everything that comes with it. And, sometimes, things don't happen exactly how we want them to. But at the end of the day, I love the game of basketball. I'm sure my teammates do. We have an opportunity to go out there and showcase our team, showcase our brand, showcase our players. Guys, continue to build and grow their brand and their stock. And the big prize is we have an opportunity to be able to go to Madison Square Garden. I mean, I've never been to New York. I mean, there's a lot that's still on the line, man, and I think I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just saying what has been said and what I've said and talked about with my teammates, and I think we all are pretty excited for this.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Winston Shepard on San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Steve Fisher has experience. I mean, way back when, after he won a national championship in 1989, before you were born, and then went back-to-back Final Fours with the Fab Five. He won this tournament in 1997. Did he bring that up to you guys at all?
Yeah, he won this tournament with Big Tractor Trailer.
Yep.
And, it was a great time. He even mentioned to us that 15, 20 years ago, the NIT was on par with the NCAA tournament. So, this is a great opportunity. I think that we'll have an advantage being able to play at home. And, man, Coach Fisher's a great coach, man. He's whatever the season has thrown at us, we've taken it. We've done our best to send it back with attitude and flair, man. So, we're just going to continue to try to do that. Now, we got a tough opponent that's coming in, a very good team with some guys that can play and shoot the basketball. So, there's no time for us to feel sorry for ourselves. And, I thought I said goodbye to Viejas, but I have an opportunity to play 2 to 3 more games in there. So I'm looking forward and excited for that.
Winston, you had such an interesting career here to sit and watch you over the 4 years like most of us have. I just wonder, if you were to take us back to, you're 22 years old now. If you were to take us back to 18-year-old Winston Shepard, what do you think he would have thought about your career if you would have said you would have been a 4-year player at San Diego State and this is what your career would have been with the Aztecs?
Well, then I would, I'm sure he would say, well, let's look at the numbers because numbers don't lie. I mean, there's only one player that's ever put on the San Diego State form to be 1,000-plus points, 600-plus rebounds, 300-plus assists, and that's myself. So, to be able to do that, win a lot of games, be a lot of all-tournament teams, be a leader, be a guy that can be identified as the program. When people think about San Diego State, they think about myself. I'm very much happy about everything I've done at this school. I'm very much happy in the way that I've done it, with the swagger that I've done it, with the way I've handled and carried myself, with the way that I've dealt with the media, with the way I've dealt with the fans and the negative attention. I would say, he would be proud. And I am very proud of myself, and I think I have a lot more to come.
It's interesting. You bring up the negative attention, and I saw an interview last night, when you were addressing the media as one of the senior leaders, and you brought that up as well. And I said, I might not be aware of the negative attention that you're referring to, Winston, but it sounds like you really are.
I mean, just over the years, man, I can make a reference to another player in our conference right now that has been getting a lot of negative attention, and it's caused him to transfer. It didn't cause me to transfer. People have come to my Twitter, people talk about me on the message boards, come to the games and say things. Every time we go on the road, I'm the one that's being badgered and haggled from opposing fans and teams, even opposing coaches. You know, to me, I loved it. I absolutely 100% loved it. It made me a better player. It always gave me a little bit more fuel to the fire that burns very intensely inside of me. And, you know, I wouldn't change one thing, man, from getting in trouble to, you know, mistakes that I've made. You know, I believe, like I said, things only happen the way that they're supposed to happen. And I'm just very proud of myself and how I handled them and grew and continued to carry myself.
Opposing coaches?
Opposing coaches, man. You know, I don't think in all my time since I've been at San Diego State, you know, I played with Jamal, who was a polarizing figure
Right.
in his own right. But I've never seen an opposing coach talk to an opposing player the way some coaches in our conference have talked to me during the game.
Give us an example.
You know, I'm not a guy who runs my mouth and goes, you know, it's all in the game. That's why I never have brought it up. I never complained about it. You know, that's basketball. And, you know, I do things that, you know, would make it easy for a coach to want to say a little, you know, something disrespectful or, you know, something that he thinks can try to throw me off my game. I make it easy for him to maybe want to do that. But, you know, I don't have to say things. You know, I know and Coach Fisher knows. And, you know, even through all that, through the adversity, I'm very proud of how I handle myself. I never let it be detrimental to myself or to my team.
That is, I had not heard that before about an opposing coach. So you won't give us a quick example without leaving names out.
I mean, I'm sure you guys can probably put one and two together. I mean, in a very tough game this year, very hostile, you know, some controversial calls are made down the stretch and, you know, maybe some things, a little showboating that I do or trying to get the crowd into it, you know, made some people upset.
I'm going to have to now rack my brain and go through game by game here and try to figure out what it is that you're talking about. As I said, Winston, you have had one of the more intriguing, enigmatic careers of anybody who I have seen walk through the doors at San Diego State. So it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much. And go get them tomorrow night. You know, you guys bow out of this thing early. You'll just prove everybody right on that selection committee.
Yep, we looking forward to it, man, and we will be ready to play.
Thanks, Winston. Good luck.
All right.